Hello, and welcome to the Storytime with SoK, written by SoK Padua. Episode 1. A vivid dream. Two childhood friends lying close together atop a snooker table, smiling and giggling. Alex, 16, and Aya, 15, chatted as if the world belonged to them. Their story began here, with a promise made on a lazy afternoon. For Alex and Aya, the snooker world wasn't just a goal. It was their playground, a space meant for joy and adventure. Sitting up, Aya looked at Alex, her face lit with determination. "Give me your finger. Come on, that pinky finger. Stand up," she said with a soft smile. Alex groaned but followed her lead, sitting up and offering his pinky. "What's the big deal now?" he asked, feigning disinterest. Aya clipped their pinkies together, her voice firm. "Promise me this. No matter what, you'll never forget me. You'll win championships, lots of them. And even when you're at the top, I'll be your biggest fan. Promise me." Alex studied her face, realizing she wouldn't let it go. "Fine, fine. I promise. I'll never forget you. But you have to promise me the same. Never forget me either." Aya smiled and laughed, breaking the tension. She hopped off the snooker table and wandered toward the open door, her hands clasped behind her back. "I'll hold you to that promise," she said, her voice steady, but Alex noticed her shoulders trembling slightly. As he moved to follow her, she turned, waving with a laugh. "See you around," she called, running off before he could respond. Only later did Alex realize her eyes had glistened with unshed tears. That day, Aya disappeared from his life. Aya jolted awake from her dream, blinking groggily as she reached out to find her glasses. The dim light of her room made everything hazy, but after some fumbling, she managed to grab her phone from the bedside table. Its screen lit up, revealing a picture of her family. She unlocked it with her fingerprint and squinted at the time. 3 in the morning? Is a ghost playing with me? She muttered, stretching her arms with a yawn. The cold bite of the Canadian winter seeped into her room, making her shiver slightly. "Bathroom!" Aya exclaimed, jumping out of bed and rushing to the door. After washing her hands, she paused in front of the mirror, staring at her reflection. Her breath fogged the glass as she grinned. "Man, that dream. I haven't thought about him in years," she murmured, tilting her head. "I've really changed a lot since then. If he saw me now, would he even remember me?" She studied her face intently before breaking into a wide smile. "I'm still too cute," she said, laughing to herself. Satisfied with her reflection, she padded back to bed, pulling her banana-shaped pillow close as she curled up under the blanket. Within moments, her eyes fluttered shut, the faint trace of a smile lingering on her lips as sleep claimed her once more. The morning arrived, and Aya began her usual routine. After a quick breakfast, she grabbed her keys and headed out, sliding into her sedan and driving to their corporate headquarters. She parked outside, the frosty air biting at her cheeks as she approached the towering glass facade of the building. The sleek logo of the Insignia group of companies gleamed above the entrance, reflecting the pale morning sunlight. "Good morning, Madam Aya," the receptionist greeted with a warm smile as Aya stepped into the spacious, modern lobby. "Morning. Mom's already here, isn't she?" "She left without me," Aya said, scratching her head and stifling a yawn. "Yes, madam. She's currently in a meeting with the department heads," the receptionist replied. "Oh, then I'm not needed. If anyone asks, tell them I went to my own set of meetings outside," Aya said casually, giving a quick wave and turning toward the door. Her escape was short-lived. "And which meetings are those, Aya?" Her mother, Sakura, said sharply from behind. Aya froze in place as the familiar authoritative tone stopped her in her tracks. "You didn't even check if I was nearby, did you?" Aya spun around, her laugh awkward. "Ah, I may have forgotten to check." Sakura crossed her arms, her expression stern. "I need you to come with me. This will be interesting, and I want your corporate lawyer experience in the room." Aya hesitated, pointing weakly toward the door. "Okay." Just give me 2 minutes to discuss something with Jana over there, she said, flashing a charming smile. Now, Sakura replied, her tone leaving no room for argument. With a defeated sigh, Aya turned to the receptionist and whispered, "Order some pizza later, okay? We're having a pizza party at lunch. My treat." As she trailed behind her mother, Aya muttered under her breath, "This is going to be one of those mornings. Pizza is officially mandatory." The morning meetings had ended, and lunch was finally underway. The room buzzed with chatter as the aroma of freshly delivered pizzas filled the air. Aya, ever the conversation starter, decided to liven up the atmosphere. "So, who's team pineapple pizza and who swears by pepperoni?" she asked with a grin, looking around the room. Laughter erupted as people exchanged opinions, and Aya launched into an animated defense of pineapple. But as she glanced across the room, her eyes caught a tablet screen showing a snooker game. Her laughter faded, replaced by a focused gaze. "Can you bring that closer? And turn up the volume," Aya said, her tone suddenly serious. The room quieted as one of the employees adjusted the tablet, the name Alex Shelly prominently displayed on the screen. Aya leaned forward, her attention locked on the game. She started mumbling to herself, analyzing his movements. "He's off. Something's wrong. Is he injured?" Unbeknownst to her, Sakura had just entered the pantry, pausing as she saw her daughter's expression. A soft smile played on her lips. "You never forgot him, did you?" she said gently. Aya didn't respond, completely engrossed in the game. From time to time, she muttered observations under her breath, her brow furrowed with concern. "Good afternoon, Madam Sakura," one of the employees greeted, breaking the silence. Aya remained oblivious, her focus unwavering. Sakura walked over, placing a hand on Aya's shoulder. The touch startled her back to reality. "Sorry, Mom," Aya said quickly, unsure of what she was apologizing for. Sakura studied her for a moment. "The last update I got was that Alex is injured. He's planning to take a break after this tournament." Aya's head snapped up. "Is it serious?" she asked, her voice tinged with worry. "Not too serious. He delayed surgery, but now that other players from his club are stepping up, he's decided to take some time off," Sakura explained. Aya nodded slowly, her eyes still on the screen. "You still keep tabs on him, huh?" "Well, his parents are still my best friends. They'll always have a place in my heart. Just like I know Alex still holds a place in yours," Sakura said with a knowing smile. Aya blinked and turned away, her expression guarded. "I made sacrifices, Mom. I promised to help you." She walked over to the pizza boxes, grabbing a slice and holding it up. "And for the record, pineapple pizza is still better than pepperoni," she declared with a laugh, the lightheartedness returning to her voice. The staff laughed along, the tension easing, but Sakura's smile faded slightly as she watched her daughter. Beneath Aya's laughter, she saw the echoes of what her daughter had given up, not just a career, but a part of her heart. Evening arrived, but Aya's day was far from over. With the weekend approaching, she decided to visit a close friend's shop, a billiard hall, grill, and restaurant nestled in the heart of Toronto. "Master," Aya called out as she entered, her voice cheerful and familiar. The bartender greeted her with a warm smile. "Aya, what'll it be tonight?" "I'll have a cosmopolitan, and I'm renting one of the tables. 9 ball today, and the open ones are fine," she replied, her grin widening. "Table 3 is free," the bartender said, handing her a small table card. "Enjoy." As she briskly walked toward her table, the familiar sounds of billiard balls clinking and rolling, accompanied by the hum of conversations and occasional cheers, filled the air. Aya felt at home, the soothing ambience wrapped around her like an old friend. Reaching table 3, Aya placed her belongings on the nearby stool and sank into the chair, flipping through the menu. After a moment, she flagged down a waitress. "I'll have a poutine with my cosmopolitan, please," she said with a smile. Moments later, the waitress returned with a set of billiard balls. Aya began setting up for a game of 9-ball, her movements fluid and practiced. From her bag, she pulled out her own cue stick, smoothing it with precision until it felt just right. Her expression shifted, her playful demeanor giving way to focus. Standing at the edge of the table, she aimed for the break. On her third stroke, the cue ball cracked against the rack, scattering the balls across the table and sinking 3 in one go. Aya grinned, sticking her tongue out playfully. Time for my own practice. Who says you need competitions to enjoy the game? She muttered to herself. As she lined up her next shot, her confidence and love for the sport radiated through every movement. The bus rattled along the quiet streets, carrying a group of young snooker players back to their hotel. Shelly sat by the window, his chin resting on his hand as he stared at the passing lights. A loud yawn escaped him, drawing the attention of a few nearby players. He ignored their curious glances, his focus drifting elsewhere. It'll be a while before I can return to matches, huh? Alex muttered to himself, his voice low and resigned. When the bus finally pulled up to the hotel, Alex grabbed his bag and stepped out, the cool evening air brushing against his face. The familiar hum of city life barely registered as he made his way inside, his movements deliberate but unhurried. Alex, a voice called out, snapping him from his thoughts. He turned to see Shinji, one of the club's coaches, hurrying toward him. Yeah, Shinji. What's up? I heard you're taking a break from snooker. Is that true? Shinji asked, his expression a mix of concern and curiosity. Yeah, I've been putting it off, but it's time to get my arm treated. It's been a long time coming, Alex replied, his tone even. Shinji nodded knowingly. You've pushed yourself hard with all those competitions. It's no surprise your body's worn out. Take this time to relax. Enjoy life outside of billiards for a change. Alex managed a small smile. I will. Just make sure the club stays active while I'm gone. Okay? Don't worry about the club. Worry about yourself. Focus on getting through the operation, Shinji said, patting Alex's shoulder. Yeah, thanks for the concern, Alex replied, his smile softening. Shinji gave him a reassuring nod before walking away. As Alex headed to his room, the weight of the day settled on him. For the first time in years, he was facing a break he didn't want but desperately needed. After a few days, Alex was back at his family home, officially starting his break. He woke up feeling groggy, unsure of what to do with his newfound free time. The stillness unsettled him. He was so used to the rhythm of competitions and practices. Dragging himself out of his room, Alex shuffled down the stairs, the faint aroma of breakfast drawing him to the kitchen. His parents were already there, his mother busy at the stove. Good morning, Mom. Dad, Alex said, his voice low as he rubbed his eyes. Good morning, Veronica replied warmly, flipping bacon in the pan. The sizzle filled the room. Alex headed to the counter to prepare his coffee. Dad, want some? He asked over his shoulder. Nope, already had mine, Keitaro replied, his voice steady as he scrolled through something on his phone. Silence crept into the kitchen, broken only by the occasional clatter of utensils and the hiss of cooking oil. Alex sipped his coffee, staring blankly at the counter, his thoughts wandering. The break had barely begun, and already he felt adrift. Finally, his father broke the quiet. Son, can I suggest where you can have your operation? Alex looked up, his expression still groggy. Where would that be, Dad? Canada. Toronto, to be exact, Keitaro said thoughtfully. What do you think? Alex shrugged, managing a small, tired smile. Anywhere's fine, as long as they'll take care of me. Good. I'll call and arrange everything, Keitaro said, his tone serious. Sure, Dad, Alex replied, his voice nonchalant but grateful. Veronica turned briefly from the stove, glancing at her son. You'll be in good hands, Alex. Just focus on getting better. I will, Alex said, offering his mother a reassuring smile. After a while, the family fell into lighter conversation, chatting about small, everyday things. The kitchen filled with laughter and the comforting sound of breakfast being shared, a rare moment of calm in Alex's turbulent life. Up next, episode 2. See you next time.